Hi, welcome back to God of Onions podcast season 2, layer 1. I am Hiral Mehta, your host. I am a contemporary artist and the owner of House of Hira, where I design and sell lifestyle products and art pieces, and also the founder of God of Onions. Today we have Chewii. Chewii is a South Florida based artist who's a singer, songwriter, music producer, and an activist. Chewii had also dedicated her new single, State of the Nation, to the memory of George Floyd to raise awareness about Black Lives Matter. Producing and engineering her own songs has not only allowed her to evolve as a musician, but as a woman in a very male dominated industry. Let me add her to the live, guys.
Hi, Chewie.
Hello, how are
Hi.
you?
I am a fan of yours.
Well, it's always nice to chat it up with a fan. You're so beautiful.
You are beautiful as well.
You.
Thank you so much. So basically, I had started this podcast in the month of April. So this is for all the artists
Oh,
globally, where especially in India as well, a lot of people have this perception that artists can't do good, or it takes a lot of time, getting there. But it's not a dead field. It's a very flourishing field.
it is.
And yes, that's the reason I am interviewing artists like you. Where my first interview was with Paul Antonio. He's a London based calligrapher who also writes for the Queen of England. And
Wow,
yeah,
incredible. Well, I'm so happy to be here, and I'm just so happy that you asked me to join. And I'm sure that there's a lot that your viewers can learn from my experience, and hopefully they can
yes,
integrate into their own journey.
yes. Thank you so much for, we are actually honored having you at our platform. So,
Oh,
yes.
thank you so much. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you. So I think I'll start with my first question.
Okay.
So my first, yes. So my first question to you is, what inspired you to be a musician?
So I started singing very early on when I was younger, and I was inspired to become a musician by other musicians that I respected and loved. So when I was a little girl, my favorite singer was Whitney Houston, and what I just loved about her was that she was just so tiny on stage, and she was just so beautiful and small, and she commanded so much from the audience. She commanded all of the attention, and she had so much
Wow.
power, so I kind of fell in love with that, just going on stage and like commanding my audience, and moving people that were watching me or hearing my music. So that's what made me fall in love with it, and great songs too. I love how music makes you feel and how it can change your mood, make you happy, make you sad. Whatever it does, it puts you in touch with your emotions, and I really, really love that. So I fell in love with the art, but because of that, yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. And I think a lot of people are inspired by you today. So that's amazing. Yeah.
Yay. That's the goal.
Yeah. So I'll go to my next question.
Sure.
So my next question is, where do you get your inspiration to compose your songs?
Yeah, it really depends on what my goal is when I go to write a song. So a lot of times telling the truth is my goal. And it may not be my truth, it may be a friend's truth, or the truth of my community, or the world, or um, planet Earth, So whatever I'm in tune with at that moment is, I'm hoping whatever I make my music about, hopefully I'm telling the truth about something, you know, so that's really important for me. But it really depends on what kind of music I'm making. For Black Skin Lullaby, um, we were all just so devastated about the death of George Floyd, and this has been going on for centuries in our community. As you know, for brown and black people, we've been
True.
oppressed for centuries. So I think I was just exhausted and needed to use my platform to say something. And I've always wanted to use my voice for the greater good. So, but I think at that time I was just kind of overwhelmed and needed an outlet to speak on my emotions and how I felt and the conversations that I was having with my friends and family about it, you know. So, but inspiration for music comes from everywhere. It can come from me spending a day
True.
in the sun and just writing about it, you know.
Wow. And I think I really love the song, the Black Skin Lullaby. It brings me, it brings me chills, when I listen to that album and the video, the way you have composed the whole thing, it's just a very strong message. It's something which is very true.
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
beautiful. It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it is, and the music video brought it all together. It was directed by my partner Govelius, and
Wow.
we wanted to have like a vintage feel to it. So we wanted to use videos from the past to tell the story. But I
On
think
how it started.
in how it started, you know, and kind of like we're still here. Like we haven't grown really, you know what I mean? So I think that the video really highlighted that, and just the simplicity of of it was really great, and it allowed the song to transcend. So yeah.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. That's beautiful. And your voice is powerful.
Thank
So,
you. Thank you. I was trying a new style of singing on Black Skin Lullaby, and it was a lot of fun. And yeah, it was very powerful to perform it, to create it. I was like, wow, this is a different side of me that I haven't seen before. So it was a lot of fun.
wow. Wow. That's amazing. Now I'll go to my next question.
Okay.
Um, so can you tell me more about your latest track, which is Dance Through the Pain?
Yes. So Dance Through the Pain was created when a friend of mine and Govelius, my partner, reached out to us and said, hey, I have this production that I've done, and I think you guys would sound great on it. But what I'm looking for is that Black Skin Lullaby vibe where you're talking about social justice and change and the climate in America. So Govelius and I sat down and created Dance Through the Pain. And I think it's just a reminder that we have to keep our head up and kind of still smile and still find joy in life and in the beauty of living every day. Life is so beautiful, and we can't get all wrapped up with our oppresses, you know, what oppresses us or what keeps us down, because I truly believe that as a collective, we are so powerful. And if we just can transcend and put our minds into a place where we are more positive and we do see that change is possible and that we can affect it, then I think that the world around us can look very beautiful. So sometimes, yes, we absolutely have to spend time on what's going on, and we have to fight for justice. But we also can dance through it as well. We don't have to cry through it all the time, and we don't have to you know, just let us take us down. We can hold hands, we can dance through it, and sometimes that is the remedy, you know.
True, true, true. That's the best way to, there's this quote from a Sufi poet. This reminds me of a quote from a Sufi poet. His name is Rumi.
Mm.
And the quote goes that be so crumbled that wild flowers grow through them.
That's right.
So, dance through
Chills.
the
I got
pain. Yeah.
chills. Absolutely. Absolutely. We are so crumbled that we can see the beauty growing out of it. And that's what
True.
we need, you know. We need to analyze the problems that we have. The system has failed us, it's crumbled, but now what do we pick up from that? How do we transcend our experience and create a better tomorrow, you know? So
True.
I love that quote, and I love Rumi. He says it all
He is,
so
he is.
simply.
Yes, yes. I think all his quotes brings some chills.
I
So
know.
I think he's
Thank you for
amazing.
sharing.
So I'll go to my next question.
Okay. Hi,
So
everyone
my
on the chat, by the way. Hi, everyone. I see a few friends that have joined. Thanks
hi
for
Sanjay.
joining.
Yes. So the soul song by Anu also says wow.
Oh, yay.
Yes. So my next question is, um, how are you managing with producing and engineering your own songs?
Oh, I'm having so much fun. There's such freedom in being able to create your own art. And I don't play an instrument. I use the keyboard to create some productions and to get some ideas on chords and writing melodies, but I don't play an instrument. So for so long, it was just me, my voice, my songwriting, and just, you know, creating in that way. But I had to depend on somebody to create the music for me and record me. So I think being able to engineer myself and produce myself has been it just allowed such freedom in being able to um, just say what I want to create today. When I approach my computer, I can decide what I want to create, and that freedom is huge for a musician, and
True.
it just allows me to just kind of go within myself and speak my truth.
Wow.
And it's really nice because sometimes when I've worked with producers in the past and engineers in the past, I've gotten more quiet. I'm more of an introvert, so I've gotten a little shy. Maybe my self-confidence has gone down a little bit because I'm waiting on the other person to do something. Oh, he knows best.
True,
Let me,
true,
you
true.
know what I mean? So when you are creating on your own, you kind of build your self-confidence and you're approaching your laboratory in a confident way. I own my lab here. This is
Oh,
mine.
wow.
And, you know, I
Yes.
am coming here as a magician, and I am supposed to be here, and I allow myself to be great in this seat, you know. And whatever comes out, I respect it, because most of the
Wow.
time when you're creating music, it's coming from another source. You don't know where that came
True,
from.
true,
You don't.
true.
I
True.
came in
Yes.
here to make a jazz record, and I came out making a gospel record, you know. It's like,
Wow.
why? I don't know. so
Wow.
so that's
Wow.
really cool. The cool thing about creating on your own and being able to produce and engineer your stuff is that you have
Wow.
the yeah, you have the leverage to do whatever you want. So so it's cool.
True. That's very true. Being an artist myself, of course, not a musician. I paint, but I can
Ah,
totally understand that, you cannot use any other hand because some other hand will not know what's your imagination. So
exactly.
it's so true. It's so true, and many a times, and I think with the way you compose, as you said, that I'm sure that you're quite connected to yourself. That it comes. So
Yes. Yes. And the nice thing is that now I can go into a room with other producers and engineers and my partner as well, and bring my confidence there and say, you know, I know what I'm
wow,
doing here and I'm worthy of being in this room. So it feels better too to know what you're doing, you know? So even if you don't fully engineer yourself, it's always nice to learn one of the DAW programs, one of the programs like Logic or Pro Tools, just a little bit, so
true,
that you can understand what the other person is doing while you're
true,
recording. You know?
true,
So
true, true,
I think it all helps, and yeah, it's just your craft.
true.
So eventually, you have to expand it, and I think it was the right thing to do for me.
True. That's really true. That's amazing.
Yeah.
So I'll go to my next question.
Okay.
So my next question is, how is it different for a woman in a music industry?
hmm Um, well, it's a male-dominated world, so so you definitely have to let your voice be heard. Make sure that you stand up for yourself, and that you make space in the room that you're in. Sometimes you'll be in a room with all males. Most times I'll be the only woman in the music studio. And if I don't say anything, no one will introduce me. No one will address me. They'll think I'm someone's girlfriend, or you know what I mean? So you really have to kind of present yourself and say, hey, I'm here and I deserve to be here. And I may be the best in the room. So you want to know me. Um, at the same time, I think it gives us an opportunity to band with other women, and create our own community within the music industry, because there are a lot of women that are taking positions of power now, and that are saying, you know what, we're not gonna keep this idea of it being male dominated. We're gonna make space for ourselves as well, and I think that's really, really important. You have to kind of know that there is a problem, and then create ways to find a solution, because I think a lot of
True.
young women are entering the music industry now, and they are engineers and music producers. But in on my level, we didn't have a lot of women producers. We still don't. I look around and there's only a handful of women producers. So I think it's really important to teach the young women that they can be
True.
engineers and music producers, and these jobs are not just male jobs. We can have them too. So I think if we just encourage our young women, then the spectrum will look a lot different in 10 years or in 5 years. So yeah, I just think we have to know that there's a problem and do something about it, slowly but surely. It's not going to change overnight, but I think women are stepping up, and men need to get out the way, because once we get going, women, we take over.
True. That's so true. As storybus.com says, way to go. More power to you. I think you're a boss lady.
Yes, that's right. Thank you.
Yes. And I would also want to ask something that, a lot of people, they don't get the meaning of feminism, that feminism is something which we asking for equality. We're not asking for something which is above somebody,
Mm,
but we are asking to have an equal, stand or an equal flow.
yeah,
But as it comes, as you said, it comes from the society, and then people get accustomed.
that's right.
So
That's right. And I don't want men not to be men. I want men to
true.
be the greatest men, but I also want space for women to be the greatest women. You know
Graceful.
what I mean? I want to encourage
Yes.
men to be wonderful as they can be as well. I never want to put down a man as well, unless, of course, we're talking about a moment where men are putting women down. We don't want to
Women
put
down.
them down. We want to be equal. We just want to be treated exactly the same. Don't treat us special. Of course, we're ladies, so we're going to be a little special, but in the workplace, let us prove ourselves as well, and give us the opportunity to be just as successful. So
True, true. Well said. Well said. Uh, I'm getting the chills, and I think this topic can go on, but yeah,
it could, but I think the main idea of that and feminism is just to take action, and to
true,
make sure that our future women are in better positions.
true, true. Amazing. So I'll go to my next question now.
Okay.
Um, what are you working on currently?
So I am working on visuals, or my album cover, for a project that I want to put out for my album in the next 2 months. So I'm just finishing up the touches. The music is done, and now I just want to create some visuals to go with the music, because that's what it's all about. I wish I could just put the music out right now and just put an album cover that says Chewii and the title, but you got to make it fun and for Instagram and for everywhere else. So I'm thinking of
True.
those things and creating the art behind the art. So
Wow.
so that's what I'm finishing up right now, and I'm hoping that I have a release date very soon. And I'm also making a lot of music for film and television.
Oh, wow.
Yes, so we've already, my partner and I have 3 songs this year that have gotten into music and televisions, and now we're going to ramp it up and get a lot more music going in television, movies, and video games. So that's what we've really been working on for the last few months as well. So yeah, just continuously working on music, carving out relationships so that the music can go further. The music industry is very locked up. If you are not part of a record label, as an independent artist, you have to find creative ways to get your music out there.
True,
The
true,
record labels sometimes have just expectations that don't mesh with another artist. They may have a
Mm-hmm.
contract for you that takes all of your music and gives you no rights to creative freedom. So you kind of want to be really careful, guys, in signing these record deals, because you could just be trapped in something that you didn't think that you wanted at the time, but now you don't. You know what I mean? So it's better
True,
sometimes to take a little time to figure out what you want in your career, and it's okay to take the road less traveled. It's okay for it to be a
true,
little harder in the beginning to find your footing. But I think my partner and I, what we've learned is that ownership is really important. So holding on to your
true,
masters, holding on to your music and your publishing, and finding ways to make your catalog work for you independently. So that's where we're at right now, and it's an exciting part of the journey as well, because yes, we can create all the music we want, but if we don't have an outlet to put it in front of the fans or the audience, then all that work is kind of lost. So that's what we're
true,
working on right now, and it's a fun
true.
process. Yeah.
Amazing, amazing. So, Miss Angel, she says Russ is independent and he drops a song a week, which no other artist does. That definitely makes him stand out. So,
Yes. Yes, he's an
Russ is
American
your
artist. Yeah, he's
okay. I'm
yeah,
so
he's
sorry
no,
about
it's fine.
yeah.
It's fine. He's independent. So he's not as big as Cardi B, say, but he owns his music, and he makes a lot of money owning his music. And it's a great example. Absolutely. And he speaks a lot about ownership. So very cool.
Amazing, amazing. So, Storiva, he's a good friend of mine, Naeem Merchant. He's asked, have you tried doing Bollywood music?
I have not, but have I? Wait, let me see. I don't think so, but I am in love with everything Bollywood. I don't like, I would love to. I would love to collaborate with a Bollywood artist. So if anyone wants to jump in my DMs and connect me, I am open.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I think the next person who I'm going to be interviewing, but he's not a Bollywood musician, I mean artist.
Okay.
He's an Indian American.
Oh,
So, yes.
oh,
So,
well,
yeah.
I, Bollywood music it just like totally brightens up your day, and I want to be part of the movement. It's going to take over the whole world very soon one day,
Yes.
so I definitely want to be part of it.
Yes, yes. And do you have any advice for the young artists or the young generations who are coming up or, aspiring to be artists?
Yes, be an artist. be a great artist, speak your truth. Also learn how to be self-sufficient, learn how to make your own music. It's very important. And have skills, have other skills within your
True.
artistry. I think it's really important to have other skills on top of, if you're a singer, then maybe you're also a music producer or you're also a songwriter. So learn other people's jobs within the music industry.
True, true,
Learn the business also. Don't be ignorant to what needs to happen in order for your song to be number one. There's
true.
a lot that goes into it, and don't be ignorant to the politics of the music industry. There are a lot of people that make a lot of money on the music that we hear every single day on the radio. So I think it's really important for us to be realistic and understand how that music gets to the radio, who owns the radio and who owns the music that is on the radio, who owns the artist that the music belongs to. You know what I mean? There's a whole world out there that dominates what music we hear. Why are we
True.
hearing this music? Is it because we like it, or is it because the music is making us do something or say something? Is it influencing us in some way? You know what I mean? And don't be naive to say, I'm just going to be an artist and it's going to be great and I'm going to be on the radio and I'm going to be on the red carpets. Well, there's more that goes into that. So
Yes.
as long as you're realistic about it and you understand the steps, then you won't be crushed or disappointed in the future. You'll be like,
True,
okay, I
true, true.
planned this out. I know why this is happening. Now I can take the steps to maneuver around it, because I think that there's a place for everyone, right? There's always, I don't think competition is a real thing. I think everybody has their own path. But
True.
as long as you know where you can fit in and play and win, then I think go for it. Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. I think it's very important to be aware because I'm sure that all of us have dreams, and I'm sure that, we learn it the hard way. But I think it's, as you said, that it's always important to be wise.
Yeah.
It's always important to know everything and stay a level above and you know what's happening before anything happens. And I
Yes.
think that's why you are where you are.
Yes,
So
absolutely. And one more thing, and all the music videos and all that cool stuff where everybody's drinking and hanging out and maybe doing drugs, all that is cool. But remember that you only have one body right now in this life. So take care of it. Remember that
respect it.
the musicians that are really good and that we all look up to are drinking lots of water and they're eating good meals and they're taking care of themselves, because my singing teacher used to tell me, you got to treat yourself like you're an Olympic star, because that is what your body needs to sing at its highest level. You know what I mean? If you're
Wow.
playing the saxophone, same thing. You have to perform on a high scale. You are inspiring others. And that's magic. So you really have to use your magic in a very responsible way, because it's very powerful. So, so take care of yourself. Don't get caught up with what looks good or what people are doing. Be grounded and know who you are, so that you don't, go here, go there, go here, and then lose who you really are. And then you have to find
True,
yourself. You're wasting time. Might as well just get
true,
it right
true.
from the beginning.
Beginning.
Yeah, learn from your mistakes, of course, but take care of yourself. It's a long journey, so you'll want to take care of yourself.
True, true. Wow, I think being healthy is a very important thing, and I'm sure that in your industry, a lot of people they have done few things which eventually has got them at a position or a situation where it's been difficult for them as well.
Yes,
And we keep reading that on the papers, or we keep reading about that every time.
it
So I
is.
think that's quite inspiring.
Yes.
Um, So I think now I'm going to leave the questions to the audience. And
Okay.
before I could leave the questions to the audience, we already have a question here.
Okay.
So Br Walia asks, how many hours do you practice singing every day? What is your routine? How do you prepare yourself before a performance? I think even I want to know that. Yes.
Yes, yes. So when I was first starting out as a singer, I would practice uh, maybe like 4 times a week, and then I'd practice with my coach once a week. My coach now is through Zoom, and for performances, I practice with my coach, but for the most part, I have my vocal warm-ups, my vocal exercises, and that's what I do for the most part before I go in and record a song. Um, I've been singing for a long time, so I don't practice the way I used to as far as vocal training. Also, I'm not performing often. I'm not on tour or anything. So before I do a performance, if I was about to go on a tour, I would want to perform with, practice with my band at least for a month. Before we went out on tour, especially if we were doing new music. But since I've been recording, doing a lot of recording, it's pretty much been the practice of creating as opposed to the practice of the vocal training. The vocal training, I'll do quick warm-ups and then get to it. But for me right now, I'm more of in a position where I'm learning as an engineer and as a producer and as a recording artist. So it's different from when I used to be a, say, jazz musician, where I used to be at jazz bars 3 times a week or 2 times a week. Then
Wow.
I would be practicing with my band three times a week or 2 times a week. So it's just a different process, I guess, for me when I'm performing as opposed to when I'm in the studio.
Wow, I think that's amazing. I have a question, but before my question, someone's asked, I'm sorry if I must have, I would be pronouncing your name wrong. Gibson's, I'm sorry, I can't, Sylvester. So he has asked, how did you enjoy working with Beyonce?
I have not yet worked with Beyonce. I'm not quite sure where that rumor came from, but I will say that I do believe that we are all inspired by each other. So I definitely know some folks on her team that have been inspired by my team. So.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I think you're really very humble from, you know, the way I think I must have DM'd you, and you were sweet enough to actually respond to my DM, and you were like all ready to, be a part of my platform. I think that's huge for me. So yeah.
I
Um,
appreciate that. I try to talk to as many people as I can, especially about the work and the art, because you have your own audience, and who knows who will listen and who will learn something, and
true,
especially as a
true.
woman, God of Onions, running that platform and giving artists like myself an opportunity to speak about what we love. I think it's a big deal. So we should definitely support each other, which is another reason why I enjoy being independent, because I can respond to whoever I want. I can do any live stream that I'd like, any interview that I'd like at any time. I'm not just stuck to doing one platform all the time.
Wow.
So no, I very, very much enjoyed speaking with you and with anyone that wants to speak about what I love to do.
Wow, I think that really means a lot to me. Thank you so much.
Course.
And you have my utmost respect. So,
Thank you. And I
yes,
respect you as well for giving us a platform. I really appreciate it.
thank you so much. Yeah. So, there's another question. Rajshri Walia, she asks, where do you find inspiration for creating new work?
Yeah. So like I was saying, I find it everywhere. I could find it on this live with the right question. It could drive me to a song, you know. I can be taking a walk in nature and see something that sparks a moment, and I create from that moment. It could be watching the news and being devastated at something that I see, a friend's story.
That's okay.
Really anything anything that moves me, and also, to be honest, for creating music for TV shows and music for TV shows and movies, sometimes the inspiration comes from things that are cool right now, like things that are trendy, things that people are talking about at the moment, you know. So sometimes you kind of have to just be flexible, and know what you're creating for. If I'm creating for my project or for my album, I may have a theme that I'm creating for. So that theme I'll be sticking to. But if I'm just creating just to create, then I'll pretty much let the wind take me where I need to be, because I know that an idea will come. Yeah, so I don't I never create the same way, you know. I think every artist
Wow.
kind of lets it come to them, and yeah.
True. True. And that itself is the journey.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a beautiful journey. So, the person who asked the question, Rajshri Walia, she says, wow.
Oh, Raj, thank you,
Yes.
actually.
Yes. So, does anyone else have any questions for Chewie?
Anyone at all. I really appreciate all of the questions. I think they were all beautiful questions, and you're so easy to talk to. Thank you so much. A natural born host.
Thank you so much.
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much. But I think you're a boss woman, and I mean, understanding your journey and where you have reached, I think it's huge, and you're an inspiration for many women globally, and um, you're an inspiration for what you have done for Black Lives Matter as well. I think I have not asked you the question about your song, the Black Skin Lullaby. I think we just discussed in a short term, detail, but I would want to know more about it. I'm quite intrigued. I have listened to that song like more than 3 times, and it gives me chills. So I really want to know, and I support Black Lives Matter. I had made an artwork, which is on Black Lives Matter, where I had dedicated my space for all artists who, are,
Beautiful.
yes.
Oh, that's
So I would love to know more about your song and,
yeah,
more about it.
yeah. When I wrote Black Skin Lullaby, I was going through many different moods. The mood that particular song came from was just kind of, first I was angry. I was really angry, so I wrote State of the Nation. And then by the time Black Skin Lullaby came, I was really sad, and I was really heartbroken. And I was thinking of George Floyd, but I was also thinking of my boyfriend. I was thinking of my father, all Black men, my uncle, and I was thinking how I wanted to wrap them up and protect them like a baby, you know, and just kind of take them away from the world that was hunting them, you know. And so it was kind of singing a lullaby to the Black men that I love in my life, and all of the Black men around the world, and just kind of wrapping them up in that protection, you know. And so that's where it came from. And if you listen to most of the lullabies that exist, they do turn a little sad or a little dark at a certain point, you know. They have
Wow.
a little melancholy to them, or a certain vibe to them. So I think that the approach kind of came from that, and that was what I had in my mind: that protection, that shield, that rocking the Black men that are under hunt to sleep, something like that.
Wow.
So that's pretty much what was going on in my mind, where I'm going to make a lullaby um, for Black men, and that's what came
Wow.
out. And for Black
Wow.
people in general, it wasn't. It was George Floyd, and I was thinking of the Black men in my life, so it came from that moment. But to all Black and brown people, because to be under attack like that and like this is just devastating, and that's where I felt. That's how I felt at the time, and I still do.
I I mean, while you're speaking about it, I feel the chills. So, yes.
I appreciate you
Uh,
listening to it multiple
oh,
times.
I love it. Yes.
I really appreciate it. It is a very special song to me, one of my favorites that I've ever created. And so, yeah, it means a lot.
Wow. Wow. And that's dancing through the pain right there.
That's right. And now
So,
we have to get up and we have to dance through the pain. Exactly. I
yes.
love you
Well,
too.
amazing. I mean, we've received a lot of love from the audience,
Yes.
and that's amazing. That's beautiful. And I think I would love to wrap up my interview because for my podcast, the listening, a lot of audience would love to listen to something which is at particular time limit.
Okay.
And I think I can already feel your energy. I mean, you're so strong. I think, um,
Thank you so
yeah,
much. And we're not always strong. There are moments where I am very weak. But that doesn't define who I am. What I do doesn't define who I am. And that's why you have to stay grounded and know what kind of person are you. That matters more than what you do, what job you do, how much money you have in the bank. What kind of person are you? That's the driving force and the confidence. That's the strength that you
wow,
see, is because I know that I am a good person. I know that I am humble, that whoever comes up to me, I will embrace and give my attention to. So that's what you see. That's the strength that you see, that I know that who I am.
wow,
So I
wow.
think it's important for us. That's why I'm always preaching to take care of yourself first. Don't worry about this or that, looking cool or da da da. Just figure out, just be a good person, and then you'll walk through life with all of the
True,
strength and
true,
confidence that the world has for you, because you know what type of person
true.
you are.
Wow. I mean, that's quite inspirational. Can I just be a little honest? I do feel conscious interviewing you because I know I am your fan. And I, yeah, so yes,
Now we're friends.
yes. I mean, yeah, that's amazing.
Well, thank you so
Um,
much. I appreciate you. I'm going to let you go because I know that you're on a time limit. I don't.
so yes, and this live is only for 1 hour, and I think this live will also end. The
Okay.
IGTV, it goes for 1 hour. So yes.
Okay.
Um, Great. So I'm going to conclude now.
Yes.
Chewie, I think you are an inspiration to many people. I can already feel the energy. I mean, your vibe is so strong, and you are a boss woman. I mean, you're an inspiration. I'm sorry, I'm repeating that. And I mean, it has been amazing interviewing you. And I'm so glad that I have launched my season 2 layer 1 with a boss lady.
Yes.
So yes, thank you so much, Chewie. Thank you so much for being a part of God of Onions.
Yes.
And it's huge for us. And as NPM 1411 says, Chewie, you are an inspiration and so grounded and sweet.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much.
So that's a woman power. So
Yeah.
more power to you, Chewie. And
Thank you.
we are waiting for your next album.
Yes.
And
And we'll
yes,
check up. We'll do another one of these when the next album comes out.
yes, I would love to do that.
Perfect.
Yes, and we can't wait until you actually collaborate with any of the Bollywood singers and come up with a Bollywood music.
Yeah.
So that's yes.
I'm gonna
So
make
that's going to
sure
be
that that
very
happens.
exciting.
I'm gonna make sure that that happens. Yes.
Oh my God, that's going to be very exciting. I think all of us are going to be like very excited.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
I'm gonna work on
amazing.
that. I'm putting it on my list today, so it to
Yes,
make it a reality. Absolutely.
that's amazing. Thank you so much, Chewie. I think I got to learn a lot from you, and so did the audience. And I'm sure that the audience loved it. I think I see so many hearts and, a lot of love coming from them. So thank you so much, Chewie, for giving me the opportunity to interview you.
You're very welcome.
And thank you so much, everyone, for
Thank
being here for the
you.
interview.
Thanks,
Yes.
everyone.